Merci Charles, merci Emmanuel.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for hosting us in such a historic site. We're talking about the future of Ukraine and the future of the European Union and our democracies. And it is that history that is being written as I speak. Our destinies are linked. Ukraine is a member of the European family. Putin's aggression against Ukraine is an aggression, an attack against all the principles that we hold dear. It's an attack against democracy, against sovereignty of states, against the freedoms of a people to choose its own destiny and shape its own future. The way in which we respond today to this odious attack by Russia against Ukraine will determine the future of Ukraine and also the future of our Union, and going beyond that, even the future of the entire European continent. So let us remain faithful to the principles that have been our guiding principles in our common responses to date. It's responsibility, unity, solidarity and determination.
It made us face up to our responsibilities in the face of a new reality. First, our duty to continue ensuring reliable, secure and affordable supply of energy to European consumers. In the midterm, this means getting rid of our dependency on Russian gas by diversification of supply, by massively investing in renewables. Renewables are homegrown, they create jobs here in Europe. They are a strategic investment in our security and in our independence. And this is why the European Commission outlined Repower EU this week. Repower EU is a plan to diversify suppliers and switch to renewables. By mid-May, we will come up with a proposal to phase out our dependency on Russian gas, oil and coal by 2027. Backed by the necessary national and European resources. But we also addressed energy price spikes. By mid-May, the Commission will present options to optimize the electricity market design so that it better supports the green transition. But consumers and business need relief now, and therefore this week, the Commission came forward with guidance on price regulation in these exceptional circumstances and the possibility of a new temporary crisis framework for state aid to support struggling businesses. This is complemented by the option given to member states to tax windfall profits from energy groups. And finally, by the end of this month, the Commission will present options to limit the contagion effect of the rise of gas prices to electricity prices. Finally, we need to be ready for the next winter, so we will set up a task force that will design a refilling plan for the next winter and coordinate the operation. Beyond this first step, the European Union needs to define a longer-term EU gas storage policy, and therefore the Commission will table a proposal to fill up underground gas storages to at least 90% of their capacity by the 1st of October each year. So you see, it's a whole big package, and this will be our insurance policy against supply disruption. Similarly, the leaders also discussed food prices and global food security. And here too, the Commission will come forward with options to address these important issues. Putin's war has also fundamentally altered Europe's security environment. To defend Europe, we will need different forces and different capabilities. Significant additional defense investments in Europe will be needed, and I welcome that some leaders have announced ambitious steps to increase defense spending. More will follow. But we need to avoid fragmentation. Thus, we need a coordinated approach, because this only will ensure that we maintain a military technological edge in our European industrial base and that interoperability is given between our European armed forces. This will be the focus of our work in the next weeks to come. I want to be very clear that we need to closely coordinate also with NATO. NATO is the strongest military alliance in the world. Thus, I welcome that the leaders have tasked us to prepare an analysis of the defense investment gaps and to make sure that we have a clear plan how to deal with those gaps in Europe by mid-May, when the Commission is presenting the results of this undertaking. The second principle I mentioned was unity. It certainly guided us when we swiftly imposed altogether 3 successive waves of sanctions on the Kremlin. With an immediate, hard-hitting effect, we will now come forward with a 4th package of sanctions. These sanctions will further isolate Russia from the global economic system, increasing further the cost of Putin's invasion to Ukraine. And finally, a word on solidarity, which so many Europeans are showing shining examples of in these days by welcoming with open arms more than 2 million people who have now fled the war in Ukraine. I want to thank all EU member states, and in particular the countries in the front line, that is Poland, Romania, Slovakia and Hungary, and of course our partner Moldova. Because the people of Ukraine need and deserve all support, and so do the countries that welcome them. The Commission has set up a solidarity platform to coordinate operational and financial support and reception capacity. We're also using the flexibility of the EU budget to the fullest, so that member states can finance actions for refugees, like, for example, housing or schooling or medical care and other topics. This flexibility within the Commission could free several billion euros over the coming years for exactly these purposes. The Ukrainian people are showing immense courage. And a people that stands up so bravely for European values is clearly part of the European family of nations. So while this terrible war rages on, we should already reflect carefully about what comes next. The membership applications of Ukraine are expressions of national sovereignty, of its will and its right to choose its own destiny. Today, we have opened the pathway towards us for Ukraine. They are part of the European family. Thank you.
Merci.